Fire ravages St. George's High. GMC to sell cheaper sugar. No human trafficking convictions for the year. And bittersweet truth. I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The top floor of the historic St. George's High School in Georgetown was completely gutted by a midday fire that reportedly started in the front of the building. However, quick work from the Guyana Fire Service contained the blaze from spreading further. At the time, several students and teachers were in the building. Fortunately, they all escaped unharmed. A date for the commencement of the preliminary inquiry into the shooting death of Quindon Bacchus was set on Tuesday when the matter was called at the Cove and John Magistrates Court. During Tuesday's hearing, the magistrate set October 5th for disclosure of statements and fixture of a date for commencement of the preliminary inquiry. Police Lance Corporal Christophe de Nobrega has since been charged for his death. The government is currently planning to move several ministries, including the Ministries of Housing, Education, and Telecommunications, to the area adjacent to the Eccles Bypass Road. Work is expected to commence in that and in other initiatives by this year's end. The president also said that in addition to this, they've already approved the construction of a modern hospital and a hotel for the area as well. By the end of this August, work is expected to commence on the proposed 2.4-mile road from Soonard to Crane in Region 3. According to the president, the tendering process has already been completed, and final arrangements are currently being made for the road's construction. While the road is expected to connect with the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, it will be completed well before the bridges. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Suzuki Jimmy Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $3.4 million. All pay as low as $700,000 down, with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peterhouse, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamashi, and tell them you get entry for this sweet deal. Following weeks of reports of a sugar shortage and price gouging across the country, the government has directed Guyanese to sell its packaged sugar at the Guyana Marketing Corporation for $150 a pound. Additionally, at market locations in Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, sugar will be sold by the GMC from this Thursday at the lower price. Currently, customers claim to spend around $200 to $400 per pound of sugar at most retail outlets nationwide. Guyanese continues to state that there is no shortage of bulk sugar while admitting that a shortage exists in packaged sugar, and that issue will be addressed soon. They blamed heavy rains and the slump in production at Iflit for much of the shortage. However, they also blamed alleged sugar smugglers in Region 1 of selling the Demerara Gold over in Venezuela, where it fetches a much higher price. The president also said that the security forces may be asked to investigate the smuggling. This morning, 40-year-old laborer Dexroy Ogleton was remanded to prison for the murder of Jermaine Elias outside of their superbet in New Amsterdam, Belize. According to eyewitnesses, the two got into an argument which became physical and ended with Ogleton fatally cutting Elias with a grass-cutting knife. Ogleton is expected back in court August 10th for statements. The U.S. State Department's 2022 Trafficking in Persons report highlighted the fact that for the first time in 4 years, there were no convictions of human traffickers in Guyana's courts. According to the report, although the government meets the minimum standards in efforts to combat the crime, no one was convicted last year. Additionally, the government has yet to formally approve standard operating procedures to identify victims, provide sufficient security for trafficking victims at shelters, provide enough Spanish language interpreters, identify any victims among the vulnerable Haitian population, or adequately oversee recruitment agencies. Guyanese are known for many things, and cheapness is one of them. Thankfully, you could be cheap and still get high-quality DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell truck parts for low prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for today's oil update. ExxonMobil plans to drill more than 60 exploration wells offshore Guyana in 6 years. In addition to the proposed 35-well exploration campaign for the Starboard Block in the third quarter of 2023, That campaign is expected to commence after Exxon's current 25-well campaign ends. So 25, 35, 60. For this ongoing campaign, Exxon already made 5 discoveries for this year alone. Yarrow is Exxon's next target in the Starbuck block. However, the campaign is slated to conclude in the second quarter of this year. And over at Kaicha and the Kanji blocks, 24 wells, 12 in each, are planned. Those two are also in the process of securing regulatory approvals. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Doublespeak. It's like lying to me, but not even having the courage to lie to me properly. Today I'm talking about the current foolishness going on in the sugar industry. We are a sugar-producing nation, and yet we have a sugar shortage. But then we can't even be sure if we really do, because according to Gaisuko, there is no sugar shortage, but there is a shortage of pocket sugar. But now that makes no sense. The only form of sugar people really buy is pocket sugar. I mean, no one's really out here buying loose sugar. Yes, they're buying it in bulk, but nevertheless, they're saying that there is a shortage of the pocket sugar due to the smuggling of sugar to Venezuela. Not of bulk, but of the pocket sugar. So in response, the government is going to find these sugar smugglers and then prosecute them. But now, I'm completely confused, so I have a few questions. Number one, if just one group of sugar smugglers are able to completely upend the local market for sugar, then why did Gaisuko, or at least why did someone working for Gaisuko, approve the sale to them in the first place? I mean, shouldn't this have been understood? And two, if it's really that profitable of a trade to Venezuela, then why isn't the government already running this trade with them? I mean, now I could go on, but all I'm trying to say is, whatever's happening, the government needs to get its story straight and tell people the truth, because all of this doublespeak is pretty stupid. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now for our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Yesterday, I asked how the government can best help cushion inflation. Johnny Barnwell says the government can subsidize fuel for consumers. Guyana is currently enduring cost-push inflation. Thus, the cheaper it is to move goods, the cheaper overall prices will be. Dylan Clark says we need to move from a grant-based system, one that's purely transactional and has negligible impact, towards a successive resilience-based system, such as ladders, social mobility, and impartial enablers to fully realize one's capabilities will progressively lead to a better society. And I presume this is by Am Right to Say. Interesting. I like that idea, and you're absolutely correct. You can't just give a man a fish, you must teach him how to fish. Kevin Higgins says, increase low wages that gives our people more spending power and stop giving out stupid cash handouts. The only cash handouts so far that's useful is the Because We Care cash grant and the housing assistance. Honestly, I'd have to agree with you on those. And finally, Maha Beehive says, the government can help by paying people's utility bills, their light, water rates, etc. And this will target the most needy, and the effect would be to help the most legitimate people in this case, so the registered occupant of the home who will come forward. I like that idea as well. So before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. For tonight's question, has the increase in prices made you change your spending habits? Or are you just paying more for the same thing you always were doing? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.